Hey everyone, it's Jillian, and today we're going to go over taking those math equations or sentences that we translated from English into math and make some systems. So don't forget, a system of equations has two equations. So these are the steps. We're going to read the problem carefully. We're going to identify what we don't know, the unknowns, and we're going to assign variables to those unknowns. So let x be this, let y be that. We're going to determine how the unknowns are related because they'll be giving us this information. We just have to put it into a math sentence, otherwise known as an equation. We're going to write the system of equations, which is the two equations. We're going to then do what we did before with elimination, substitution. We're going to solve, and then we're going to check. So let's take a look at this, which is example 1. The Outdoors Club held a car wash to raise money. They washed cars for $5 each and vans for $7 each. They washed 34 vehicles and earned $192. How many of each type of vehicle did they wash? So what I want you to see here is that there's two kinds of equations. There's information about the number of cars, the number of vans, the number of vehicles, and then there's also information about the money for each car, van, and vehicle. So there's two categories. There's the number of cars and vehicles and vans, and then there's the value or the money part. So what I did, and I wrote this here in case it helps you, if looking at all of this isn't helpful, if it's too overwhelming, just write down in point form what you know. In here we were told cars are $5 each, vans are $7 each, the number of vehicles is 34, and the number of money earned is $192. Alternatively, you can just, go like this. You can highlight it. You can do whatever you like, but figure out what works for you. Alrighty. So now we have two groups of numbers. There's the number of vehicles, and then there's the dollar amount. So what I want you to do now is, if we're going to let C be the number of cars and V be the number of vans, I want you to write here a math sentence or a math equation that is representing the number of cars, the number of vans, and the number of vehicles. So first of all, let's write up our let statements. So we've got here, let C be the number of cars, and we're going to let V be the number of vans. Now, when you think about it, you know that the number of cars plus the number of vans equals the number of vehicles. Okay, so let's write that with the number here. So we've got the number of cars plus the number of vans is equal to the number of vehicles. But wait a minute, they told us what the number of vehicles are. This. So that's one equation that relates all the number of vehicles. Then we have the dollar one. So now we know that there's $5 charged for each car and $7 charged for each vehicle, and together they have earned a total of $192. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and solve this now. First thing we do is we put a number beside our equations and we circle the number so that we know it's not, you don't want to just write 1 because you might think this is 341 or something like that. You need to circle the equation numbers. That's the process. That's what we do. Then what we're going to do is we're going to decide if we're going to solve it with elimination or substitution. So both work, so I'm just going to randomly pick substitution. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange equation 1 so that it's C equals 34 minus V, because I brought the V over. I'm going to call that equation 3. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write over here what I'm doing. I'm going to take equation 3 and I'm going to sub it into the equation I didn't rearrange, which is equation 2. So now, instead of writing 5C plus 7V, I'm going to write 5C and replace C with what it equals, which is 34 minus V, plus 7C equals, 7V equals 192. And then I'm going to do my arithmetic. I'm going to do that times that. So you need a calculator or take a scrap piece of paper and do longhand. Now we're going to keep this on one side here and collect the numbers over here. So I'll bring 170 over. From here, positive becomes negative. Then this here is, of course, 2V. I'm just going to go up here because I'm running out of room. 2V equals, and then this here equals 22. We now know that if we divide both sides by 2, we're going to get that V equals 11. So let's just do that. V equals 11. And I encourage you to little box it off because it's going to really make it so much more helpful to you. Now, did we want to know how many vans there were? I don't know. Let's reread the question. How many of each type of vehicle did they wash? So now we know the vans, but we have to sub this in. What are we going to sub it into? Well, let's sub it into 3 and we'll find out the number of cars. So instead of C equaling 34 minus V, it's going to be C equals 34 minus, because V is 11. So C is going to equal 23. Put a little box around it. And then you're going to write your little sentence. I'm really running out of room here. Let me write it over here. Therefore, they washed 23 cars and 11 vans. And that's how we're going to do these questions, guys, just one at a time. It's the same process every time. Figure out your information or underline stuff. Write up your let statements. Write up your number of, in this case, vehicles. It could be number of t-shirts, whatever it is. The value of it. There's going to be 2 different equations. And then you do what we've done already, which is solve with elimination or substitution. And then don't forget, you need to read the final, as soon as you find the first variable, read what you have to do again. So, because if they would have said, just tell us the number of vans that were washed, we would have stopped here. We don't need to do all of this. And this would just say they washed 11 vans. And that's how it works.